In this video, I'm going to show you 6 super fun techniques to paint trees in watercolor. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first technique is the most basic one. I'm just using my round brush and I'm basically painting the sunlit part of the leaves first using a very yellowy green. And what I'm focusing on is the main shape of the tree. And while the paint is damp, I'm adding a slightly darker green, which is basically for the mid-tones of the leaves. I darken my greens by just adding a touch more blue and sometimes a touch of burnt sienna to warm up that color as well. And after that, I'm just painting the shadow part of the leaves, which is a super dark green. You can add indigo to your green mixture to make a very similar color. As you can see, this dark shadow color is still spreading and having soft edges. That's because when I was painting the first sunlit part of the leaves, I had a lot of water in my brush, and that way I make sure that my colors stay wet for about at least 10 minutes. And once I'm happy with the shape of my tree, I'm moving on to painting the tree trunk using a smaller Chinese round calligraphy brush. This color is the sunlit part of the trunk. It's basically burnt sienna with just a touch of indigo. And then I'm adding the shadow part of the trunk by adding more indigo to the mixture to create a much darker color for a really good contrast. Even though that this technique is the most basic one, but I feel like it's slightly harder than all the other techniques, and it might take a few tries to practice it and get it right. Okay, so now let's move on to the technique number 2. This is one of my absolute favorite techniques to paint trees. I'm using my small Chinese round calligraphy brush, and these brushes are absolutely perfect for creating this technique because of the wolf hair that is used in these brushes. It's really hard to shape the bristles and make them basically hold their shape and not go back to their original shape. And as you can see, I'm just kind of attacking my paper using this brush and dabbing this brush onto my paper. And because my paper is very textured, it's a rough surface paper, I'm able to create these interesting patterns for my tree. You also get very similar results if you use cold press paper too, but rough surface obviously has a lot more rougher texture. And for the next step, I'm just using a much darker green. This is a color that I added my Prussian blue and indigo to darken it. And I'm using the same technique, just dabbing my brush onto the paper, and my brush barely has any water in it. So the trick is to keep your the amount of water that you have on your brush, keep it to the point of dry brush technique so that you can create these texture effects. Okay, so let's move on to technique number 3. So for this one, I'm using my toothbrush, and I'm just using the same green mixture that I had in my palette, and I'm dabbing the paint onto my paper, starting from the lightest color, the sunlit part of the leaves, and then while the paint is wet, I'm adding a darker green with more blue in it, and then the shadow color. You can see how beautifully the textures are created by this technique and how easy it is and how fast. It's just so much fun to use this technique. And also, to create more interesting texture effects, I'm going to sprinkle some table salt onto the wet paint and just let it air dry to create texture effects. The way I like to use my salt is to combine ordinary table salt and some larger sea salt to have a variety of larger textures and smaller ones. Now, before moving on to the next technique, I just wanted to show you that you can come back to the first tree that we painted wet on dry and just add slightly more definition by adding just more wet on dry marks to create a more defined shape for that tree. Okay, so now let's move on to the technique number 4. For this one, I'm using dry brush technique. So I'm basically using the belly of my brush and very little water on my brush, and I'm dragging my brush on top of the texture of the paper to create these texture effects for my tree. Again, starting from my lightest color and moving on to adding darker color for the shadow parts. I also wanted to mention that for this technique, it's really important what brush you use. I usually like to use my Chinese calligraphy brushes, and you basically want to use a more rougher, less stiff looking brush. So you know, some brushes that get to a really fine tip and you can do a lot of details with them. Those brushes, in my experience, aren't really good for a dry brush technique, so it's really worth it to experiment with different brushes and see the kind of textures that you can create using them. And also, don't be afraid to go really dark for your shadow parts. The contrast between the super light yellowish green that we used for the sunlit parts and the super dark, almost pure indigo color that I used for the shadow parts, that contrast can add a lot of interest to our tree. I also wanted to share with you a different technique to paint the trunk, because for the first one, if you remember, I painted the first layer, the sunlit part, wet on dry, and then I added the shadow parts. But for this one, I painted the sunlit part first and then I let it dry completely, and then I'm adding the textures and the shadow colors wet on dry to have more definition for my trunk. So this is just a different technique depending on which one you like best. Okay, so for the next technique, I'm going to use my natural sponge. This is a sponge that I got from Walmart. You can get it from Amazon or really anything that's similar to this one. But I noticed that the different sides of this sponge have different patterns. So you might want to like take a really good look at it and see which side has more random looking patterns and choose that side to paint your trees, or maybe just experiment by just painting different trees with each side and see which one you like best. But just by looking at it, you can often tell which side has a more beautiful and random kind of a pattern. And I also wanted to mention that I usually use my sponge dry, so I just dab my dry sponge into the wet paint and try to paint my tree that way. And another technique that I really like using my sponge is just using some spray, misting spray, and just wet my paper using that spray so that the whole surface of the paper is not wet, it's just randomly wet, if that makes sense. And then I use my sponge to paint my tree, and that way I sometimes in some areas I get soft edges where the paper is wet, and in some areas I get harder edges where the paper is dry, and the combination of those softer edges and harder ones can add a lot of interest to the painting as well. I actually decided to paint another layer for the shadow part of my tree because I realized I didn't go dark enough for the shadows, but I didn't really like the harder edges created by painting wet on dry. So I sprayed some water. I'm not sure if it's easy to see it on the camera, but I sprayed the water to kind of soften some of those edges and make them look a little bit more natural. Okay, so for the last technique, I'm going to use an oil painting natural hair brush to create texture effects for the trees. This is something that I was experimenting with a few weeks ago, and just because I bought these oil painting brushes a few years ago because I was doing a lot more oil painting back then, and I just had a lot of these brushes and I was wondering if I could create some interesting texture effects for painting trees, foliage, or like grasses, anything like that. And the result was just so interesting because of how easily we can create beautiful natural looking texture effects using these brushes. And again, I like to use my oil painting brush completely dry, so I dab my dry brush into the wet paint. And the same as before, I just paint the lightest green first and gradually add the darker colors. As you can see, the main important thing about painting a beautiful tree is the main overall shape of the tree and the tonal value of the sunlit parts, mid-tones, and the shadow parts of the trees. So once you get those, you can use any items or any tools that you can think of to create a tree shape. And I just sprinkled some table salt because I wanted to tell you that you can combine all of these techniques together. Like you can paint the main shape for your trees wet on dry, and then maybe use your oil painting brush to add more texture effects, and then maybe sprinkle table salt to add even more texture effects. So feel free to really experiment with these different techniques and see which one you like best. The kind of textures that they can create are very different, as you can see. And to be honest with you, I just enjoy using every single one of these techniques in my paintings. Like, it's hard to say which one is my favorite. I love all of them, and sometimes I try to like combine different one of them together just to see the kind of effects that I can create. That's why it's so important to experiment and play and see the kind of effects that you can achieve using these techniques. I really hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. As always, please don't forget to ask me your questions in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy painting!